Hey YouTubers, how you doing this week, BFD viewers? This is MainelyButch coming at you from the woods of Maine, of course. It's hunting season here in Maine, so the dogs are wearing orange coats. You can see over my shoulder here, Georgie is laying on the couch. Yes, Georgie's back. My girlfriend's back. Yay. MainelyButch is happy Butch this week. Noah's running around somewhere. She's got her little winter coat on to her little hunting coat. The hunters will shoot your dogs by mistake and think they're a deer. They'll shoot you by mistake and think you're a deer. It's not a good scene. This week we're talking about social networking and if we are involved in social networking and how that plays into our lives. So, yeah, that's what we're talking about. I've been involved in online social networking probably since about 2003. I think it's been 5 or 6 years now. I basically started out with AIM, AOL's Instant Messenger, and started out by reconnecting with people that I knew from my life, and made a few new friends through that, and then moved on and joined MySpace. I've been on MySpace for a few years now, I think since 2005 or so. The current page hasn't been up since 2005, but I did have a previous page before the one that's up now. I'm actually pretty tired of MySpace and all of the bullshit and drama crap that goes on there. I think MySpace may be for a younger crowd, or for a very bored older crowd. I'm not sure. It seems to be a real drama scene, and a scene where people don't really have any respect for real life relationships. I have met some good people through it, I have to say, but I have also met some real idiots and people that I wish that I hadn't met and hadn't come into my life. So in the past year or so, I've joined Facebook. I find that venue to be much better than MySpace, and I monitor my friends list much closer on Facebook. My entire family is on there, my extended family. It's a great way to stay in touch with them and to let everybody know what's going on, and to let, for us to kind of get together and let each other know what's going on. I like that. I am pretty protective, though, about who I let onto my Facebook. I don't care for Twitter. I just don't see the reason for it. I don't think anybody needs to know what I'm doing minute to minute. And, I keep my Facebook pretty updated. And for blogging, I use WordPress.org occasionally, and I also use LiveJournal. I found that when you develop an online persona, which I kind of have, over the years as MainelyButch, I use that on almost every site I'm on. That I use that moniker, MainelyButch. So you can probably Google me and find me just about everywhere. People will follow you around once you develop a persona, whether you really want them to or not. And some of them will do it just to tear you up, and that's happened to me, and I don't like that kind of crap. So, but I have met some good friends online. I think it's a great way to connect with like-minded people. I've had a particularly good fortune in connecting with the ButchFemme crowd online through sites like ButchFemmeDance.com, ButchFemmeSpeak.com, and ButchFemme.com. The ButchFemme community being such a sub-community in the LGBT community, sometimes we're just so sort of like invisible to each other, that I think that social networking is a great way for us all to connect and to plan, get-togethers and to do things. I think you just have to be careful of who you really let into your life. Personally, I'm pretty comfortable being myself, so if I weren't, I wouldn't have developed my online persona as being just me. I wouldn't be putting myself out there on YouTube for everybody to see. I don't come off as anybody except who I am, and I hate people that get online and try to be somebody else. That drives me absolutely nuts. I have met a couple of women online that I have dated. I think it's actually a good way to meet people initially. I do think it's a really good idea that when you meet somebody online that you take the time to get to know them, really get to know them, and then, you know, like, have a few face-to-face visits, you know, don't just, like, you know, start living together. I think that a lot of people rush into things with online relationships, and I know you can get emotionally invested pretty fast, but, you know, when you get together in real life, the people aren't exactly what they said they were, or you find out that you're exactly very different people, and that passion isn't there as it is in the fantasy world of the virtual world online. So I met two women that I've had pretty serious relationships with online. One I met through MySpace, and we were together for about a year, and I have a lot of respect for that woman still today. The second woman that I met online, I met through a dating site, and I am with her still today. So, you know, yeah, Corey and I met on a dating site back in, like, May of 2008, I guess, and then, you know, met at the end of June. I can't say enough. I mean, I definitely think it was a good connection for me. We had our issues with MySpace coming in between us, and other social networking sites coming in between us. We've had people that don't respect our relationship, that have put moves on both of us. And, you know, when things aren't good, sometimes, you know, you get jealous, and I tend to kind of be an idiot sometimes, and I've done things that have allowed that to come in between us, I think. So it could happen to anybody, but I'm really wary of the social networking thing right this minute, because we're just getting back together, you know, after another after a really big time apart, and I'm really wary of this social networking thing coming in between us again, and I really don't want to see that happen. So, you know, I think that we're probably going to delete our MySpace pages because of that, because it's MySpace that's caused us a lot of the drama. And I'm just really hoping, you know, that people that are in relationships where they met online, if there's any question about what each other's doing online, you got to be really transparent and, you know, communicate with each other about what's going on, you know, because I think that people can develop online relationships with other people too easily sometimes and get led astray into thinking the grass may be greener somewhere else. And I fear that happens to a lot of people online sometimes. So anyway, I like the feel of Facebook better, the closeness of Facebook, the quicker updates, things like that. And so I'm probably just going to stick with that one. So that's all I really have to say about social networking this week. And I have to interject here a little bit. I'm from Maine. We lost our ballot initiative on Tuesday, as everybody knows, across the country. I'm devastated. I'm devastated that I have again been relegated to being a second-class citizen in my state. And it pisses me off to no end that everybody out there, you know, will continue to raise their voices, to you know, get involved with organizations that do promote equality in marriage and equality across the board. According to the 14th Amendment of our Constitution, we all deserve equal rights. We all deserve equal treatment under the law. The Constitution says it, and there's no way that any of us need to be going back in the closet or going backwards here. Just because we lost in California's Prop 8 a year ago and we lost in Maine on Tuesday doesn't mean we're giving up. Okay, we're going to make this happen. There will be same-sex marriage at some point across the country. You know, all these old fogies are going to die off eventually, and eventually people are just going to, the people that understand, the younger crowd, the youngsters that I talk to that don't see, you know, don't understand what's going on today, they're going to come into power at some point, and they're going to put things right. And we're all going to be there to say, hey, we stood and we kept standing until it was right, and we were there. And I hope each and every one of you has a great week. And, yeah, keep us all in mind here in Maine. We're kind of in mourning right now. Peace.